we're back here at the awesome Ford motocross track today for another round of the UK Evo series. And as you can see behind me, we've teamed back up with the BNH squad to go racing on a very special bike. Our man from last year, Lewis Trickett, is currently out with injury. He's actually getting a hip replacement. So instead, the guys at BNH have drafted in an ex-GP racer. He's actually also the manager of Team Green Kawasaki and a media mogul as well. That is Jeff Perrett. Like I said, he's a former GP racer, so he knows how to twist it. So let's go meet Jeff. Let's go and find out what we're doing here today. Okay, so we're here at Ford today for round two, isn't it?
Round two
of the UK Evo Championship, and we're here with my old buddy Jeff Perrett. Come out of retirement this year, Jeff, to race this thing, this beast. We'll tell you more about exactly what this is, because it's an absolute unit of a bike, a machine that has to be seen to be believed, I think, doesn't it?
Mate, it's Mad Max stuff, seriously. It really is. You know, excuse the pun, your name and everything, but it is, I mean, and when I got the call to ride it, I was like, that's an opportunity I cannot turn that down. I just can't. It's an amazing bit of kit.
You have ridden it, you raced it once at round one. What is it like to ride? Explain the kind of sensation of riding something that looks like this and sounds like this?
There's nothing else close to anything I've ridden, regards of the kind of power delivery and the way the motor, you know, power to ground. It's just so usable. But the noise, everybody hears the noise as you ride around, right? But as a rider, like you can hear it in your lid and everything like that, and you kind of, and it rasps and it just comes out the corners and you just hook the gears. It's just got so much usable torque. It's an amazing bit of kit. It's just so much fun to ride. I absolutely loved it. I had a little 5-10 minute stint on it before we raced, about 2 weeks before we raced. Not enough really, ran a little tight track. And then when I got to round one and I had these big sweeping hills and corners, I was like, this thing is something else, man. Yeah. Literally haven't walked the track, I just rocked up, so that's what practice is for, right?
I'm sure that's what you tell your riders.
No, I don't, but I'm going to have to learn it in practice in 2 short laps. We'll be all right, it's all right. What can go wrong?
Going on from that, obviously, you've not seen the track before, limited time on the bike. But what are your expectations here today at this championship? Obviously, it's this series is all about fun and having a good time on dirt bikes, isn't it?
You're absolutely on the money there, like fun. So that's what I'm here for. You know, I've got nothing to prove. Genuinely, I'm really happy with how my career went. You know, I had a good career. Raced for 30 years, pretty much non-stop. Raced for GPs, all that kind of thing. So for me, coming back into it, it is about having fun. Having said that, obviously round one went quite well. I got a second in the first moto. I was going for the win in the second one, and we had an issue with the bike, which the guys have now completely rebuilt it and sorted it. Then I went out on the Twinshock one in the last race and got a fourth. So in that sense, expectation has maybe risen, maybe more from other people than me. I'll just try to ride it for as fast as I can, for as long as I can. When I start to get tired, I'm old enough now and wise enough to, like round one, my arm's starting to get a little bit, where I hadn't ridden for like over 10 years, raced. So if I start to feel a little bit fatigued, like listen, I'm not going to be a hero and push beyond my comfort zone, he says. So I should be all right, you know, but again, the plan was to get loads of riding in or whatever. Because of my workload, my schedule, I'm literally just having no time to get out on a bike. So it's rock up, race, see how it goes.
So what on earth is this thing? Well, let me roll you back to last year when we shot a video with this, which is a twin-cylinder Triumph motor squeezed into a Twinshock dirt bike. Since then though, Martin, Brad and the rest of the B&H team have been busy building and refining something even more special. This hybrid build that Jeff is racing uses that same 1950s Triumph engine unit as before, but this time makes use of a modern KTM gearbox. To make this gearbox work, they've had to reverse the engine, which then meant that the oil pumps had to be modified as well. The bike uses a KTM ignition, which is connected to a full ECU with twin fuel injectors. This bike doesn't actually boast any more horsepower than before, but it's got that modern single shot, the power is even more usable, and the entire thing is lighter than a modern 450. However, it doesn't have a kickstart or even an electric starter.
It's just when you sit on it and you look down, right? So straight away, you've got the radiator at the front. Little things like that, when you're so used to having a front plate that's tight to the forks, and you look down, you're like, your front plate is miles away. You're like, what's going on here? And then these air filters like stick out, and you know, but once you kind of get used to the feel of it, that sense of it is amazing. But the power is just so good. I mean, first time I went out on it, even though I'd ridden it before for 10 minutes up at Martin and Brad's field, first time I went out and rode on it, I kind of thought, I don't even know how many gears it's got. And I didn't. And I was like, so I was hooking for another gear at one point. I was like, oh, that's it then. So I'm top now, you know, which I think it's got 4 gears on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I still don't know, do I? I've raced it. I think it's got 4 gears on it. I don't know. I just go into autopilot, don't I? Oh, the kickstart. Now, you see, I don't mind that as a bit of pressure, because we all make mistakes, and I'm thinking, you know, there's 2 sides to look at that, Phil. It's like, obviously you want to compete and do well, but if I do stall it, I've got a legitimate reason to sort of just go, God, thank Christ for that, I'm out of the race. Because I think you can bump it pretty easy, but obviously it's not a case of, you know, just putting the kickstart out and starting it. Having said that, Martin is on about going forward getting an electric start on it, which would be great. That's a bit of me. Not only that, not only am I old, we're all old, I'm vertically challenged. I've always struggled to kickstart bikes. I mean, I've just got little ET style legs. So anything with an electric start and I'm in.
Okay, so we're getting ready for the first race of the day for the Evo 45 Plus class. What can Jeff Perrett do on that very special BNH Triumph Hybrid? The riders are lined up. Look out for a bunch of CR 500s, KX 500s, and the odd YZ250 in this category as well. It's an open Evo class. The green flag is up and we are ready to go racing. Who's going to grab the first hole shot of the day? That looks like a great jump for Jeff Perrett. But it's Danny Blakely on that KX 500 with a massive hole shot. Jeff Perrett up there in second position though. So a great start for Mr. Perrett on the BNH Triumph machine. He's chasing down that KX 500 of Danny Blakely as they head into turn 3. Perrett up the inside, looking to make an early move on his rival here on the 2-stroke, big bore 2-stroke. Just look at the power of that big green machine up the hills. Danny Blakely looking fierce and formidable here today at the awesome Ford circuit. He's opened up a bit of a gap over Jeff Perrett on this opening lap of action. Perrett has Phil Lewis there lurking behind him in third place at the moment. Phil Lewis on the YZ250 1989 machine. Just listen to that Triumph Hybrid special from the B&H squad. Has to be seen to be believed, that's for sure. And Jeff Perrett really does have his hands full here with Phil Lewis all over his rear wheel. Like white on rice at the moment, Phil Lewis is the man on the move. The number 28 machine on the 1989 Yamaha YZ250 on the gas up the hill. And this is a proper old ding-dong between these 2 old rivals, and Phil Lewis makes a move, but Jeffrey Perrett swings back to retake the position, hanging on to second position for the moment. What an awesome little battle we've got going on here. The Triumph versus the Yamaha. They switch back and forth yet again. Jeff Perrett defending well at the moment, but Phil Lewis looks like to be a man on a mission, and then he goes diving up the inside. Perrett swings back again. Back and forth they go. What an awesome battle. This is what we come to see. This is why we're here at the awesome Ford circuit today. And Perrett hanging on for now. Oh, but it looks like, yes, it does look like Jeff Perrett has thrown in the towel there. Phil Lewis has a solid grasp on second position now. And Jeff Perrett looks over his shoulder to see if there's any more attacks inbound. He's in a comfortable third position now. Can he hang on to the rear wheel of Phil Lewis, who in turn is chasing down the race leader, Danny Blakely? So just a handful of laps left to go then for our leading trio to make their way past some lap riders. There's Blakely still leading on the KX 500, just ahead of Phil Lewis on the YZ250. And then now, distant third position is Jeff Perrett on that BNH Racing Triumph machine. a solid effort from Jeff Perrett in this moto, hanging on to third place at the moment with just 2 laps left to go. Can he hang on to a podium position and put that hybrid shed belt machine on the box? So across the line goes Danny Blakely, taking the win on his KX 500, just ahead of Phil Lewis on the YZ250. But where's Jeff Perrett? Looks like Mr. Perrett has gone missing on the BNH Racing machine. Where is he? It looks like he's had a bike problem on the far side of the circuit going up the big long hill here. The Triumph has quit on him. A heartbreaking turn of events for Jeff Perrett and the B&H team. Just exactly what has gone wrong?
Is that's broken, come off, and I must have flicked that with my inside of my knee. Well, we're hoping that's what it is.
Jeffro, race 1, it started so well. Second,
I think, yeah.
For the top 3, and then
I was third into the first corner. Obviously, first time I've done a start here, so I wasn't entirely sure where like the apex was.
It's a weird kind of downhill.
It is, yeah, it's really odd. So I went in a bit hot, a bit deep, because I thought I'd just try and at least sweep round them. And then I managed to get straight into second. I made an early move as you went round that little kink. I thought, okay, this is good.
That KX 500.
Yeah, he was this time like North Nibley. I kind of managed to get past him quite early or whatever, but he was definitely using the power of the 500 down the straights, and I was like, okay, this is going to be intense. I think North Nibley was a bit tighter, a bit more technical. This is a bit more wide open. I was like, oh, this is going to be a proper race. And straight away I caught that Phil was not too far behind. I thought, oh my God, he's on a 250 Yam, yeah, which he's got set up lovely. He says it's really nice coming out of the corner, so that's good.
You and Phil, I don't know if you saw me. It kind of looked like you saw me there, and you kind of switched back. I was like, yes, Jeff, let's go.
I did see you, and I thought I'll at least battle with him until my arms can't take any more. So I was good for about 3-4 laps. And I think you could physically, see for yourself that I just started. My arms started to just go a bit tight. I started to get a bit, I wouldn't say sketchy, but the front was just
some back markers.
Yeah, and then just I think about 4 lap mark, I was just like arms were starting to hurt a bit, and I wasn't getting overly sketchy, but I was sketchy enough where I was thinking actually, the front, I just backed it down. Once Phil come back around me, I thought, okay, let's get a third. But then that happened. Then this bit broke. Unfortunately, that came off and was wobbling around, and I can only assume that I then flicked the switch in my leg, and that was it. Good night, Vienna. But then it was just dead on landing, so I just pulled the clutch in and sort of rolled up to the hill.
Silver lining though, top of the hill.
Yeah, well, no, halfway up the hill.
Oh
no, don't think it was at the top of the hill.
It was at the top of the hill.
Yeah, it was at the top of the hill while you got there. Like, a load of us had to push it up.
My bad.
So, the good thing is that it's just that, so I can at least carry on riding it. The bad news is I just got to try and get fitter, and that's the hard bit in it. I don't get time to do that, but hopefully my arms won't get so tired so quick the next one. But so much fun, even the mild pain. It's good.
All right, let's get ready for race 2 coming up next. So race 2 is coming up next for the Evo 45 Plus class. Can Jeff Perrett find redemption after that heartbreak in Moto number 1? The gates have dropped. We're about to find out. So not such a hot start for Jeff Perrett this time around. But another fly for Danny Blakely on that KX 500. Phil Lewis has also grabbed a good start, as has Dean Warren, the 116, also on the KX 500 there. Jeff Perrett lurking up in the top 5, looking to make some quick moves. But a nice move. Jeff Perrett's past Phil Lewis to move into 3rd place there. He's diving up the inside of Dean Warren to try and take over 2nd position. But Warren says, no, not yet, mate. You have to work a bit harder than that. So Perrett finds himself stuck in 3rd position for the moment on this opening lap to charge up the hill for the first time. Perrett on the gas, looking to use a wide line here. Hits the berm, rails to the corner, carrying his speed, and what a beautiful pass on Dean Warren to take over 2nd position. Lovely stuff from Jeff Perrett there. A veteran manoeuvre, and he's looking He's looking to make a pass on Danny Blakely to take over the lead spot in this race. As the opening lap comes to a close, Jeff Perrett just losing traction, losing ground on the KX500 up the big hill. He's got a solid grasp on second position for the moment. Phil Lewis has moved into third position now on his YZ250. So is this going to be a repeat of Moto 1? Three-way battle between Danny Blakely, Jeff Perrett and Phil Lewis for the top 3 positions. Perrett switches up his lines, protects the inside there. He knows Phil Lewis is there, lurking, ready and waiting to pounce soon as he shows a sign of weakness. Here come our lead 3. It's tight at the top, especially between third and second positions. Perrett charging down the hill, he's quick down there. And on the gas up the hill towards the finish line to complete another lap of action. Blakely still leads ahead of Perrett, Phil Lewis in third. But Lewis pulls the trigger and makes the move happen. Looks like Jeff Perrett might have waved them by a little bit there, thrown in the towel maybe. As this race draws to a close, the battle is on at the top. It looks to be a fierce fight between Phil Lewis and Danny Blakely. Meanwhile, Jeff Perrett lurks there in third place, watching it all go down ahead of him. Just a handful of laps left to go. Perrett on the gas up the far hill. He's got a couple of back markers to deal with coming up. And what's that at the side of the track? That looks to be Phil Lewis, the second place man. He's got off the side of the track. We're not sure what's happened there. But Jeff Perrett has just been promoted into second position as Phil Lewis found himself stuck at the side of the track. And they take the 1 lap to go flag, so 1 lap left to go. And you know what? I do not think Jeff Perrett knows. He does now. He's just taking a big look over his shoulder. You can see Phil Lewis there, so he now knows that he's been gifted second position. Can he hang on to it for half a lap? It's going to be the longest half lap of Jeff Perrett's life, potentially, as he holds off the defending Phil Lewis on that YZ250. But down the hill they come for the final time. Perrett hanging on to it for now. Into the final turn, yes, and Jeff Perrett has a solid grasp on that second position. Across the line he goes. Jeff Perrett takes a well-earned second position on the BNH Racing Triumph Hybrid.
Oh, got the old race snot feel, have I? It's good look, isn't it, with a ginger beard, white. What a handsome chap.
Come on, Jeff, talk us through that, fresh off.
Talk you through. Give me a moment. It's been at least 5 minutes since I rolled in. I still can't talk. Same again, Phil, really. Obviously, didn't make such a good start that time, but I really did. The first couple of laps I put on some good moves. Can't believe I got to second as quick as I did, actually, which was cool. And then, again, I got a good rhythm going, started to catch up a bit, but I got to, I think it's about 3 lap mark. My arms just go tired. This time they are a bit more solid. And I just don't want to ride through it and risk crashing, you know. I think, what's the point, really? So I have to back it down a bit because I really don't want to be throwing it down the track out there. And then it kind of came back about the last lap, but I thought I was in third. I didn't see Phil go off the track anywhere. Apparently he got together with Danny and he went off the track. So I thought I was in third and I thought I'd have a nice, as soon as that last lap flag came out, I thought, yes, thank Christ for that. So I thought I'd cruise round. I knew I had a nice gap over fourth, and then I just come up one of these hills, and I don't know why I looked up behind me, but I just thought I'd take a look, and there was Phil. I was like, oh, leave me alone. I just want a nice cruisy half lap to go. But then, of course, when a second is presented to you like that, you've got to dig deep. But I knew if I could get to the downhill before the finish in front of him, that he wouldn't be able to pass me because I'm going good down the hill. I was always catching on Danny down there. So I thought if I can get to that top straight, I'm going to get second, and so I did. That one took more out of me.
Tell you what was cool there though. See the smile on Martin's face when he came back just then. He was like, that was awesome. He was so pumped when I think to get the bike across the line, but then a top 2 position.
for me, obviously I rode the modern bike and I'm riding and that's amazing. It's not even the power of that makes it so incredible. It's the noise. And I genuinely mean that. So I'm going out there, and if you hold a gear a bit longer and you hear it rasps, the whole thing feels genuinely like alive. It's not like another bike. It's just like you get this ringing in your ears through the bike, and you know it's absolutely rasping. And if you get the power right coming out of the corner, hook a gear, and you can just hear it, you're like, and that alone, I guess I'll tell you what it'd be like. I'm guessing is like if you're at a football match and you're a player. And like the crowd, you did something cool, like, you know, some kind of nutmeg or whatever, and the crowd give you, and you're like, yeah, that's what that's like.
So it's time for the third and final moto of the day for the Evo 45 Plus class. Can Jeff Perrett finish on a high note? Can he get that Triumph Special on the box once again? What's this though? It looks like they're having some trouble starting the Hybrid Special. Can they get it bumped in time for the gate drop? It's going to be a close call here for the BNH Racing team. Will they make it back in time for the gate drop? Here they come round then. Who's got the third and final hole shot? It looks like Danny Blakely again. But where's Jeff Perrett? There's no Jeff Perrett in the pack. And they're still up there trying to bump start the machine. A heartbreaking turn of events for the BNH Racing squad. It looks like they're about to give up on attempting to bump start the big girl. But what has gone wrong? Jeffro, not the fairy tale ending that we was hoping for. I was at the bottom of the first corner, so just talk us through what happened. I didn't see what was going on there.
Sorry for making you walk all the way down there.
I just got the extra step.
Right, so this is a classic learning the bike as much as anything else, you know. It's got a little switch. That's the problem that we had in the first race. It came off, the ignition switch, but you've got to turn it off when you're not using it, because the battery is what helps fire it over. And basically it goes quick, really quick. So I went down there, obviously with you guys.
I rode down there,
was no problem to do all the pictures. But as I rode into the pit box, my normal routine in remembering, I pulled the clutch in to roll into the pit box, and because we had the tick over set quite low, it stalled. And then that kind of just, it threw me out of my routine, because normally I obviously stop, put it in neutral, and then go, right, what? Yeah. So I forgot to switch it off. So basically, when we went to fire it up, the battery, oh yeah, nightmare. So when I went to fire it up, we didn't have enough oomph in the battery to turn it over. So a classic schoolboy error on my behalf.
And then you had to watch the rest of the field.
We tried bumping it, but there wasn't enough, enough power in the battery to turn it over. Obviously, it's a complex bit of kit. When it gets going, it's amazing, but it's a totally my error. Martin's now blaming himself. He's like, oh, I should have come down there, remember to switch it off. It's like, yeah. But I think honestly, if I hadn't installed it coming into the pit box, and I would have just hit the brakes, and then I would have remembered to turn it off. And because it just stopped, I kind of just, without thinking, like you would a modern bike, I just literally got off of it, put it in neutral, and completely forgot to turn the switch off. So.
But that's sometimes that's motorsport, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just man, it's machine as well. Especially when you're dealing with such a special machine like this, such a special one-off build. Yeah. There's lots of things that can go wrong. There's lots of things to remember.
It's not a normal bike.
It's not.
The whole procedure, everything about it. Obviously, I've been riding. My 250, my KX 250, modern bike. You get on it, you press the button, it starts.
Yeah.
Like that. You've got to go through a procedure to start it, and I just fell out of that procedure. So. Actually, forget everything I just said. It's all a crock of crap, because I just basically did that to avoid riding the last race.
To avoid the dreaded arm.
So yeah, I did that on purpose. Actually, no, I really wanted to go out there in that last race, because actually, I felt like I knew it was a slightly shorter race, and I kind of said to myself on the line, actually, I'm going to really go for it in this one and see if I can win it. And then I didn't even get off the bloody start line. Honestly, it's an unbelievable kit. That is just totally my fault, and we could have. And I said, if it wasn't for that kill switch problem in the first race, which was just one of those things that, that Martin straight away has worked out, so it's R&D, basically. It is still going through an R&D process. So, You know, so that little switch has caused us a bit of problems today. But
Better won't next time.
no, you know, hopefully I'll be a little bit better shape for round 3 as well, and try and come out at round 3 and get the big W. Yeah.
Jeff, thanks for
Thanks,
letting
mate.
us follow you along today. Big thanks to Martin and Brad and the whole BNH Racing team for letting this man shred their bike, letting us come and film it. It's been a mega day at the track. Also,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. But
That's
this
what you
man
gotta
also
do.
does run some interesting off-road and motorcycle dirt bike events throughout the year, don't you? And one of them is the I don't know
It's
the
a-
official
it's a
name,
helter-skelter
helter-skelter
hill climb.
Now, if this sounds interesting and you think you want to see a 700cc two-stroke take on the helter-skelter hill climb,
You do.
let us know in the comments down below,
You
and we'll
do.
see if we can make it happen. But
Get
as always-
commenting.
Yeah, as always, guys, my name's Max, his name's Jeff. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, we'll see you at the track.
What he said.
A big thank you goes to our viewers, Andy Sibthorp and Jeremy Gardiner, who sent in super thanks tips in the last week. A massive thank you to those guys and to everyone else that has sent us super thanks in the past. You're helping us to make bigger and better videos each and every week. Until next week, I'll see you at the track.